Anyway, pretty high value tool here. Really useful on a ranch. I don't know how you can run any business without something like this. When you're discussing sensitive issues, if we're having the discussion with this body language and this framework where you put it on the table and you're sitting across the table looking at each other, then the dynamic is me versus them, or my idea versus the group. Okay, a healthier way to do that is to use a tool like the flip chart. So you know it's dry. Feed prices are crazy, $200, $300 a ton hay. I think we need to sell the cows. What do you guys think?
Do we have any other alternatives? Put cows somewhere else, grazing, corn stalks, just looking at hay prices.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, gosh, we've worked to put this herd together for a long time, and I hate to just get rid of them, but I think it's what we need to do.
That's a tough deal. Hate to see that happen.
It's hard work getting this herd established. I know hay availability is even tough right now, finding it and getting it trucked. So I hate to see all of our cows go, but if that's going to be the best option.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what else to do. So when you're discussing sensitive issues, if we're having the discussion with this body language and this framework where you put it on the table and you're sitting across the table looking at each other, then the dynamic is me versus them, or my idea versus the group. Okay, a healthier way to do that is to use a tool like the flip chart. And the way we do this for this conversation would be, we'd start with the facts. Okay. And we'd reach agreement on the facts, okay? What do we know the situation is? Let's put some things up here.
High price hay.
Okay, high priced hay. What is hay? How high priced is it? I mean, high priced is subjective. What do we think it is?
I know it's $200 to $300.
Okay.
You know.
$200 to $300 per ton hay. Okay. So you guys agree that's a fact?
Yes.
Okay. What other facts do we know?
It is very dry.
Okay. We have
Rangeland is
30% of normal moisture. Candy, you did the count on the cows last week. How many bred cows did we have? Do you remember?
Oh, I think there was about 700.
Okay. We've got 700 cows on hand. Okay. We agree on those facts? Okay. So once we have agreement on the facts, then the conversation can turn to, we can take and peel this one off, put it on the wall to where we can all refer to it, and then turn the conversation to ideas. So let's get some ideas, let's get some strategies on the wall that we can then come back and evaluate. And this isn't where we want to start vetting the ideas, we just want to get them on the wall. Okay, so when you're asking for these kind of inputs, people are going to want to start diving into, well, that one's good, that one's bad. Just stop that and say, nope, right now we're just trying to get as many ideas on the board as possible. So what are some ideas around this drought situation? What can we do?
Go ahead.
selling the cows.
All right, so let's sell cows. Okay. What else can we do?
Find somewhere else to stage them for a while.
Send cows to camp. Not summer camp, it's winter camp here. All right.
Buying feed. I mean,
Okay, we could buy feed.
but then the quality of feed might not be.
That one's probably gonna need some vetting.
Right.
All these are gonna need some vetting. Let's just get the ideas for now. Okay. So we could go on and on and on. The idea would be to fill 2 or 3 or 4 pages of these until we're out of ideas. Okay, and then we can come back and say, okay, which are the top 2 or 3 that we want to fully develop and vet. Okay. So just the dynamic of that, it changed from my idea versus the group to now we're working together to come up with something creative. Okay.
Right.
The second thing is, anytime you have any kind of a meeting as a team, develop a agenda. So just what are the main things we're gonna talk about? It's helpful to put some times beside those, just so everybody has an expectation of how long we're gonna be here. And then it can prevent that from turning into a 1 hour conversation, 2 hour conversation. So developing that agenda of what are the main points, and then as the meeting is developing, when action items start getting addressed, you want to pull those out and capture them. Okay. So in this case, we were planning our weaning and shipping. So the tasks we came up with that needed to be done were somebody needs to get the preconditioned supplies on hand. So Bob Smith agreed to do that, and he said he'd have that done by October 1st. Somebody needs to get the trucks and the brand inspector lined out. So Dana Smith said she'd take care of that, and she's gonna have that done by 9:25. And then somebody needs to line out the help. And we said we needed 3 people. So Joe Smith said he'd take care of that, and he'd also have that done by 9:25. The real benefit of this, I know whiteboards are popular, but the real benefit of this is when you come back together as a team, you can put that right on the wall and say, okay, we said we were going to redo the grazing plan on the Anderson lease. Dan Smith, you said you were going to take care of that, and here we are. Show us what you came up with, right? So it's able to pull that back out versus on a whiteboard that gets erased and scrapped. So anyway, pretty high value tool here. Really good, really useful on a ranch. I don't know how you can run any business without something like this.
It is really nice to see that laid out, gives you a better plan what you're gonna be doing and when it will be done.